Hey everyone, welcome back to Quick Shifts. My name is Jason, and today we're back again with the EVIQO, and they've sent me their second generation of their level 2 charger. And so this looks, if you guys recall from the first EVIQO video, it looks just like the original unit, which I still have. And if you guys have been watching my videos, you know it's one of my favorite go-to chargers for at the house here. It is a 40 amp charger, and it has a 25-foot cord. And this new version that's got me really excited has NACS on a 25-foot cord, which is one of the longest out there that you can find when you're looking for a level 2 charger for your home. In addition, it also has a 3.1 foot plug. So let's go ahead and open this up. Now, I did have this in a couple other boxes that it was shipped in. This was shipped very securely, and I have no issues or expect no problems with the product, seeing how well it was shipped. So let's go ahead and flip this thing open and take a look at what's inside here. So on the top, you have some quick instructions about how to mount it and the different screws that you can mount it with, and how it goes on there, and there's a QR code that you can use to probably get even more instructions. Now I'm hoping, seeing as this looks identical to the old one, that we'll be able to go out to my garage and just pull the old one off and put this new one on. So let's keep digging in here. Again, more quality packaging here, foam to protect the unit, and on top here, it looks like we've got the instruction book on how to use this system. You have the templates, if you recall from the first video, for mounting both the base unit and the charger plug. There's a receptacle for that to hold that up that's new and improved, I've been told. Inside here, I want to show you guys this. Very well foam secure in here to keep it from bouncing around. Pull this out, pull the foam off, toss that out of the way. This is in a nice bag. Pull that out, toss that out of the way. And this looks very similar to the last unit. If anything, maybe this is a touch smaller. I'll have to take a look at that when we get it out. But again, it's pre-connected. Nice unit up here. And one of the other changes, as I'm looking at this, I want to show you guys. Swing this thing around. It now has a reset button on the outside of the unit. Where the old one did not have that, this now has it. So if for any reason you need to reset this unit or power it on and off, you're able to do that. With the Wi-Fi and that connection, I'm sure that's why you're able to do that. Because if you reset your router, get a new router, change your home internet connection around, it can be cumbersome with the old unit resetting it to get it reconnected. So this makes it much easier to do. So before I pull this all the way out, there's a few bags of things in here. You have all your nuts and bolts that are shown on that first sheet. This is probably the receptacle. Let's go ahead and pull this out. And there's the most important part. Again, you have a nice, long, heavy-duty cord. And this will be a NEMA 1450 style plug again. So we've already got that plug set up on our wall. If you guys watched that video of putting that in, we'll be able to go ahead and put this install on the wall and be able to plug this right into our existing receptacle. Let's move that off to the side. And obviously, a whole bunch of cord here, approximately 25 feet of cord. And what I'm excited about is now we have a NACS connector, so I don't have to put an adapter on the J1772 of the original style. So now we have the NACS, and we'll be able to plug this right into our Tesla Plaid. So that's really exciting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back. This looks like it's a similar mounting plate. I hope it does match up. And we'll have to take it outside and take a look at it and see if that does match right up or not. I hope that saves us some time on the install. Okay, here's the new wall mount that will allow us to put the NACS plug and hang it on the wall when it's not in use. So that should be real nice for us. Of course, I don't know what I'm doing yet. There we go. So that'll hang right in there. Keep it secure when you're not using it, when it's not plugged into your car. So let's take this outside, take a look at the mounting base here, and use our templates, get this installed up there from EVIQO and see how this works. All right guys, so first thing we gotta do is take the old EVIQO unit and unplug it. And then there's 2 bolts on the sides. Using the special key, which I'll show you in a minute, go ahead and get this thing pulled off the wall, and then we'll get the new unit over here onto this and installed in the wall, and then we'll plug it in and start setting it up. Now to get that unit off, you have to use the special wrench. And so don't lose this wrench because you need it to get this on and off. It's got a special keyway. I don't know if I can get this in there, if it's going to focus for you. You can kind of see it there, guys, but it's got a special keyway there that is to get these bolts off on the side. And these bolts secure it to the mount on the backing plate. So you're going to have to use these. Actually, you're going to have to use it on this new unit over here. As you can see, it keys into there to take this out, to take the wall mount off of the new unit. So this is exactly what we're going to do over on the other side. Try and make some room. Wish I had more working space, but it is what it is. And I got what I got. So you can see over on this side, backing this bolt out as well. And there it goes. So there's one bolt. Don't want to lose that bolt. And we'll finish this side as well. So we don't want to lose these. Put them over there. And then once we have those 2 bolts out, try and flip this thing over. That'll allow us to slide this base down and remove this off. So this is the base plate that we get this template over here. As you can see, the holes line up, and it'll allow us to use this template to mark it on the wall if we were hanging it up. But in our case, we're just going to take the old one off and put the new one on. So we won't be reusing this base plate. So let's use our tool, and we'll take the 2 bolts out of this one, and we'll take this off the wall. All right guys, so I forgot to take video of taking these 2 bolts out, but they're now out and this is loose. So obviously we want to come over here to the NEMA 1450, pull this out, make sure we have no charge going to this, and we're going to have a mess with our cords over here. That's where I have this mounted on the wall because my charging side is back there on this Tesla. So I wanted it over here so I could pull it back using the long cord that comes with even this original unit. But as you can see, this has no reset button on here like the new unit does. So that's one of the many improvements they did. But now we should be able to lift this up and pull it off. And there's the old backing plate. And now that I'm looking at them, they are different. They are different for sure. So I will have to take the old plate off and mount the new plate on. So you guys will have to watch me do that as well. Because of my space, I opted to take down my Grizzly, and I want to leave this up so I have a J1772 and I'll have a NACS style, which will be pretty nice, and they're both Wi-Fi. Again, I think I forgot to mention that this is also Wi-Fi and will connect to the app, and that way I can switch between J1772 or the NACS version. So all we have to do is hang up our template here. And of course I used a level, and line the level up to make sure the bubble's in the middle, so it's nice and level. And I'm trying to make these level, doing the best I can, but I'm not going for perfect here. I know this mount sits in a different location, so I kind of tried to mark that. It'll be just under the wall mount words here to line up with this. So hopefully I'm close. If not perfect, that's okay. As you guys can see, this wall needs redone anyway, so that'll be a future project. But right now, let's go ahead and get the bolts in here and the mounting bracket hung up. All right, guys, so next we're going to use our template and drill these holes. And always be careful when you're drilling next to your power supply like this. You want to make sure that there's no cables back behind this, so you don't drill into anything like that. So let's go ahead and drill this in using the template. All right, now that we got that drilled in, we'll put our studs into there. All right, guys, so we're going into drywall. We want to make sure we use this setup just like EVIQO says. And so we'll use our anchors and the screws that come with it to do that. So let's set the anchors and then screw in the mounting plate. All right, now we put in the mounting bracket. So I'm going to start all of these by hand, and then I'll run them in. One last final level. All right, now we're ready to put the main unit on. All right, so we got the main unit. Set that down, slides right on top. We're going to let this cable hang for now. And we'll secure the 2 bolts on the sides to secure this in. Then bolt number 2 on the other side. And it looks like I got these pretty darn close for just eyeballing it. So now that we have that all in, we can unplug the old unit. Let that hang out of the way for right now. And we're going to go ahead, pull the protecting plug off the NEMA 1450. And we're going to plug that into the unit. And it's powering up for the first time. Looks like a nice little power cycle. And at that point, we should be able to go ahead and connect this with the app. All right, guys, so we're going to do basically the same exact thing using the template over here. I have a pre-existing hole that I want to use, but I need to drill out these 2 holes as well. And I used the level on the bottom to level this up as best as I could. You don't want that to happen. So now we'll have to fix that. All we got to do is start this next hole. And then we'll take the backing plate, mount it up here, and be good to go. So the top portion of this is actually into wood. So I don't need to run an anchor into that one. But I do want to start that one first. And then we'll use anchors into the drywall. Of course, these plates have a little bit of room, so we'll level it up again once I run these bolts in. Make sure we have it nice and level. And then secure it down. We have one of our locking bolts, or locking screws. It'll zip up in the bottom. All right, that's nicely mounted. Now we can undo the cable and hook it in place. All right, everyone, so now we've got this installed. We've got the cable hooked up and installed. We've got it plugged in. We've got our blue flashing light, which tells us that it's ready to connect to the network. So our next step is to go into the EVIQO app, and I'll try and walk this through with you guys on here. So we click on the app, it opens it up, and it's looking for the old unit. So what we want to do now is hit the plus sign over here, And we're going to add a new unit to it. So we hit start. It's found my network. We're going to continue with that network. And then we got to keep it close to the unit. It's waiting for the connection, connecting to the cloud. It's connecting to the device. And now you can see we have two devices connected. We have the old device with the J1772, and now we have the new device connected. So then we can click on that device, and now we're all connected on the app. So I apologize for getting way too close to you guys, but now this is up and running, and we should be able to plug it into the Tesla and be able to start charging right now. All right, everyone, so now we've got this installed, the light is on, and we've got sync to our app on the phone, so it's connected to the Wi-Fi and everything. So in theory, I don't have to use the J1772 anymore. I should be able to grab this off of our base. And now the Tesla has a full charge, guys. So it's not going to charge right now. And I'm going to test this for a few weeks. You see my trail of cable. But with ease, it now makes it back here. And the button works. Oh my gosh, the button works on the controller to open it up. You press the button to open the door. And we plug it in, and it syncs up, and it should be ready to go. So I'm going to test this for a few weeks, and I will get back to you guys with the results of doing that. Thanks a lot, guys. And we'll be right back. It'll be seconds for you guys and a week for me. All right, guys. So I know it's been seconds for you, but it's been a few weeks for me, and we're back with the EVIQO Level 2 NACS Gen 2 charger. And I gotta tell you, I'm really liking this thing. I like that you can use the button to open the charge port and plug it right in, and it kicks right on and starts charging your vehicle. I gotta tell you, I've had several other chargers, and that button doesn't work to open the charge port. So this is the first one that does, besides Tesla chargers. So I'm really happy with that. Now, this isn't the cheapest charger out there. It's roughly around $400 for the NEMA 1450 plug style charger. But the Gen 2 has a lot of upgrades. So let's talk about those upgrades. So obviously, as I pointed out several times already, the NACS style charger is one of the big upgrades for it. And you hit the button to unlock it, and then the door will close on its own. But as I pointed out just a second ago, come back in, hit this button on top of the NACS controller, and it'll open it back up, and you can insert it back into the vehicle. That's a very nice feature for those of us that have the NACS charger. And again, the app is amazing and does a really good job. And the app actually carries both of my EVIQO chargers in there. I only have one plugged in right now, but you can see the flashing blue with the blue line is indicating to us that this is functioning properly and currently charging the vehicle. But they also put in an advanced Wi-Fi antenna in here. So this one connects to your Wi-Fi much easier than the Gen 1 version does. Although I never had a problem with the Gen 1. So it's a good upgrade, good to know about. They upgraded the motherboard, that's a little bit better on the Gen 2. And that should make it a little bit safer, more efficient. And the other function here, if I can get back here and show you, is the manual reset button here. So if you need to manually reset this unit, you lose power, lose your router connection or something like that, you can use the manual reset button. And the old unit, if you lose power or change your router, as I learned, you have to pop the case open, and there's a little white button inside there, and you press and hold that button down to reset it. Much better to have the button on the side like that. There's also a feature where you can hit the button 3 times, and it'll help you recognize the vehicle's pre-charging situation. So that's another feature that you'll want to use. You hit that button 3 times, and it'll recognize your car being plugged in for preconditioning. So big plus there as well. And another key feature, the cord here is 3.2 feet long. So you can obviously have it a little further away and still reach over. And the cord, as you can tell here for the NACS, I'll put these side by side. This is the J1772, and this is the NACS. It's a much thinner cord. and it's much more maneuverable because it's smaller. And the cord is 25 feet long still. It is a 40 amp charger. And see if we can pop in here. You guys can see I got to get out of here. I'm going to get demonetized for the music. But it's charging at a roughly 34 miles per hour right now. And 40 amps, 230 volts. So the charging speed is fantastic. So guys, if you've hung out this long through this whole video, I appreciate that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. This is a big win in my book. I would recommend this to anybody. It is a little pricey at that $400 mark, but you get a much more quality unit. It's got Wi-Fi. The app is advanced. You can set it to a multitude of cars. And within the app itself, you can pick out your very select car and put it in there. And it performs flawlessly. I've had no issues with this. It's done a really good job. It's the fastest charger I have. It's been my go-to charger in my garage. And if you guys noticed, I actually took my other charger down and replaced it with this one. That's how happy I am with it. So I would highly recommend this. I have a link down below, link to their website so you can get more information on the specifics. It is, I believe, IP66 rated. You can use this outside or inside. It doesn't have to be mounted inside. I just like to do that because my plug is over there. It's easier for me, but it's a good choice. You guys should check this one out. I just don't see anything wrong with this. The button works great, integrates with the Tesla. I can use all my Tesla apps to turn the charger on and off, start and put it on schedule. It works flawlessly. I can use the app for the EVIQO in their app to set scheduling if I want to use that instead of using the Tesla. So you can use it with multitude of vehicles and use either the charger's app or your vehicle's information, and it syncs up and works properly. There's no confusion, there's no adapting to the software or anything. It just works, and that's what you want. So this is a big thumbs up. Hit that like button, share this with anybody that you know might be looking at getting a charger for their vehicle. And with most vehicles going over to the NACS system, I think this is the one you want to pick up. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll check you out in the next one.